Hello, I'm Anne Richardson, also known as the Busy Brit. I'm here in St Petersburg. I'm a Florida realtor. Today we're going to talk about moving to St Petersburg. We're going to be sharing some tips, some insight and some moving guidance to help you get going and get situated when you get here. So what you waiting for? Let's go. And don't forget to subscribe before you move on to the next scene. Subscribe. Thank you. Most people that are moving to Florida have moved once or twice in their lives. They may not have moved state to state, more inner city to suburbs, apartment to apartment, that kind of thing. Moving state to state is something a little bit different altogether. When I moved my first time state to state was with the military. It was the easiest move I've ever had in my life. When I moved from Virginia, Northern Virginia to Florida, it was also relatively easy because I did a lot of research before I took that step. Did some deep searching because I had a lot of possessions that I wanted people to take really good care of. I have friends since I've been here that have had some blooming awful experiences with movers across state. Oh my gosh, one person, her stuff never arrived and she even saw it for sale on Craigslist and eBay. She saw it for sale on eBay. I mean, go figure. God, I would have been devastated. FBI got involved in that one. And another one is the most recent one. She is still waiting for an additional 45 boxes that were packed that just never showed up. There are strict guidelines about crossing state lines with somebody else's goods. So make sure that the people that you hire have all of that in line. I found a website called UShip, that is the letter U-S-H-I-P. UShip had been featured on a television program some years ago, and it was about competitions about moving stuff across country and who could get it the fastest for the cheapest. And I found that quite fascinating, so I did my research on there and I was able to find somebody that was bringing stuff down from New York, who did this on a regular basis up and down to Miami and New York, and he had room on his massive truck for my goods. And so he popped it on there, and a week later they turned up at my house, wrapped, excellent condition. It was perfect. UShip. Look into it, check it out. It's a shameless plug right there. Don't forget to go to your bank and empty your safety deposit box if you have one. These are certain things that you just don't think about when you're moving across state lines, because when you're staying in state or in city or in suburbs, you generally have access to the same companies and banks and doctors and so forth. But when you're going across state lines, you have to renew everything. You have to get new safety deposit box, new doctors, new dentists and so forth. So make sure you go visit all of these people and get all the necessary documents that you need in order to get a new one wherever you're going. That is new safety deposit box, new doctor, new dentist, new pediatrician, even your veterinarian. Don't forget about your pets. You need to take care of your pets and find a new vet where you go. When you reach your destination, and of course here we're talking about St. Petersburg, and even before you get here, there is a Facebook group called I Love St. Pete. I will name them down in the description. I highly encourage you to join this Facebook group. There's about 60,000 plus members on there right now. It is one of the most valuable groups I think I've ever been a part of. You can get information about everything you can imagine on here. Recommendations for schools, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, spiritual healers, a curry night out, a wine night out, anything that you can think of, you will find information on there. They also support the local community extensively. Stan, who is the owner of this group, has done an amazing job for the community. He deserves a gold star. A couple of other places that you may want to check out online are stpeterising.com. This gives you information about everything that is in the development stage, new businesses, new restaurants opening, new boutiques opening, everything that is happening at the ground level in St. Petersburg. And they're also part of St. Pete Catalyst. St. Pete Catalyst is another thumb on the thumb, what's that saying? Got finger on the pulse. They've got their finger on the pulse of everything that's happening in St. Petersburg. So I will leave all of these in the description below. That's St. Pete Rising and St. Pete Catalyst, because you can't be too informed when you're moving into a new area that you've never been before. Getting back to moving, okay. When you're moving, make sure that all your precious items travel with you. Do not put them in a moving truck when you're going across state lines, because things go missing. And not from you, Ship, I never lost anything, but I know other people that have had that experience, so blah, not good. One of the things that I highly recommend to most of my relocating clients is that they document their trip from the state or the home that they're leaving to the home that they're going to. You probably won't ever make this trip again. And if you're doing it with your children, document everything. Take lots of photographs, keep a blog, a diary, something, so that you can look back on it in 5 or 10 years and have those memories. Traveling with pets. Dogs are accustomed to going out for car rides. Nobody loves a car ride more than a dog. Most dogs, I should say. Some dogs are, but most dogs, they just love a car ride. Cats, not so much. You have to throw a cat in a pillowcase to get it into the car in the first place. And then when it's in there, Lord knows. I have a friend who had a devilish experience relocating her cat from Virginia to Palm Harbor. So remember, drug up your cats. No, I'm joking. And don't throw them in the pillowcase. They're not really going in the pillowcase. My suggestion with cats is to take them out for several rides in the car before you actually leave. That way they'll get used to being in the vehicle in motion. I think cats just don't like the movement of the car, whereas dogs will stick their heads out, tongues out, etc. But I think cats just don't like the motion of the vehicle. They get their legs get a bit wobbly. And by the way, throwing them in a pillowcase is just something that I saw online. I don't think people actually do that. Another recommendation that I have made to several of my relocating clients is to get an Airbnb. If you haven't already purchased your home and you're not quite sure which area you want to live in because you're not too familiar with the location that you're going to, then get yourself an Airbnb. The Airbnb generally will work with you with regards to the time frame. Most Airbnbs are happy to have somebody in there for 3 or 4 months or 2 or 3 months, because it means they don't have to clean it too often and so forth. But you can usually get a good deal with Airbnb. And make sure to negotiate with them that if you should find a house to purchase in that time frame, that they will release you from the contract in good faith. Airbnb is also good because it means that you don't have to move your furniture several times from one place to another to another to another. This way you can put your stuff into storage and leave it there until you find the home that you're going to be living in permanently. You can also do pods. Pods are good because pods will stay at a location until you call them. It's like, come on pod, let's go, let's move in. But no, they usually stay at a location safe and sound until you actually put them into your home. So pods are a good option if you can't find storage. Shameless plugs in this video. I'm not ashamed. Shameless plugs, I'm not ashamed. So yeah, so for uship.com, it's what I used, it's what I recommend to everybody. I don't get paid for any of these endorsements. It's just my own experience and the nightmares that I've heard from friends of mine that they've experienced, like yuck. So uship.com, I Love St. Pete on Facebook, St. Pete Catalyst and St. Pete Rising are some of the best websites and Facebook groups that you can find here. I will make sure to mention all of that down below in the description. I'll also have a link to my relocation packet if you're looking to relocate to St. Pete. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. I do appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. I would appreciate that as well. Subscribe button somewhere below where I'm talking. I never know if it's to the right or to the left, but it's down there somewhere, I can assure you. And tingling the little bell, because the little bell will let you know every time I release a video. Okay? Thank you. This is Anne Richardson, the Busy Brit, a realtor here in St. Petersburg. Over and out. Bye.